A state trooper is rushed to Jackson General Hospital this evening after being shot in the chest during a traffic stop in Henderson County. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kelly McAllister. Brad has the evening off. Trooper Dwayne Stanford is in stable condition tonight. His bulletproof vest credited with saving his life. The THP says at 5:21, the 27-year-old trooper told dispatch he'd pulled over a car with Kentucky tags near mile marker 115 on westbound Interstate 40 in Henderson County. The female driver of that car was a wanted woman. A spokesperson said Trooper Stanford handcuffed her and put her in his car. And while walking back to the suspect's vehicle, a male passenger got out of that car and started shooting. That man, whose name has not been released, was fatally wounded by Trooper Stanford.
We had several, including myself, that responded along with Highway Patrol. I believe even Decatur County responded along with Park Service. So there were several agencies that responded to the incident.
In 2010, Dwayne Stanford was not only named Trooper of the Year by the THP, but was honored by the Jackson Exchange Club with its Officer of the Year award. Stanford is a native of Lexington. His father is also a trooper. His grandfather, a retired trooper. The man who used to lead the city of Rutherford as mayor stands charged with a very serious crime tonight. Over the weekend, 25-year-old Casey Harris was arrested on a charge of statutory rape by an authority figure. Court papers show he admits to having sex with a young girl who was 16 to 17 years old. Documents show the rape happened while Harris was a deacon of the church, minister of music, and youth leader. He is currently free on $10,000 bond. Last year, Harris resigned as mayor, citing depression following the death of his mother. Police say until they catch the man responsible for last night's fatal shooting on Hayes Avenue, they can't say what might have led to it. Investigators say 20-year-old Darvin Travis of Jackson was shot while sitting outside a business near the intersection of Lexington and Hayes around 7:15 last night. Witnesses say the gunman walked up and just started shooting. The two others with Travis was not injured. A second shooting last night in East Jackson, which officers say is not connected to the first, has left a 21-year-old Jackson man in stable condition. He suffered one gunshot to the back. Investigators say he told them he pulled over along Glass Street because he was having car trouble. He says when he lowered the hood of his car, he was confronted by two men who robbed and shot him. The suspects are described as black men in their late teens. Neighbors told us they heard arguing before the shot was fired.
It appears that it was a crime of opportunity. That's a heavily populated area. It's possible that the victim, as he said, he pulled over to check out car trouble, and someone could have perhaps seen him, saw him as an easy target.
If you have any information that could help, contact the Jackson Police Department or Crime Stoppers. Last night's shootings have Jackson City Councilman Johnny Dodd asking community members to come together and find a way to stop the violence. Dodd is holding a crime issue meeting at T.R. White Sportsplex in East Jackson tomorrow afternoon. The meeting will begin at 6:30 and is open to the public. For more information about that meeting, call the numbers you see on your screen. New at 10, the Memphis police sergeant accused of lying about who shot him earlier this month has been arrested. According to the TBI, Sergeant Norman Benjamin was arrested today and charged with solicitation to commit first-degree murder, false reporting, an unlawful sale, loan, or gift of a firearm. Benjamin was shot September 3rd and told investigators a Hispanic man was responsible. But officers say he was actually shot by a woman during a domestic argument. Charges against her were filed but have since been dropped. Well, time now for our first check of the forecast. Gary Pickens joining us now. And Gary, another beautiful and cool evening tonight.
A cool evening tonight. It looks like tomorrow's going to be a warm day, but we are going to see a cooling trend move in here with daytime highs in the 70s. Overnight low is going to get down in the 40s.
Wow.
Burr. All right, let's take a look outside tonight. This look brought to you by Southern Trucks and Equipment, your pre-owned truck headquarters. Here are your numbers for today. We saw a high temperature today of 83 degrees with a low this morning at 52. The normal low is around 54 with a normal high around 79 degrees. Record high temperature 97 degrees. That occurred back in 1953. And we saw a record low in 1967. There it is, 40 degrees. Now, let's take a look and see if we had any rainfall today. Of course, you and I both know absolutely no rainfall showing up across the ABC 7 viewing area. The airport's dry. We're dry here at the station. Looks like we're going to be dry for the next several days. A bit over 42 inches of rainfall so far for this year. Now let's look at Fast Track 7 to see what's going on. A little bit of rain did show up just barely in western Tennessee. Earlier today we saw some echoes up around the Paris area and a little bit down around Huntington, but most of it has been tonight over in parts of Middle Tennessee. What's going to look like over the next few days? Here you go. Clear skies tonight. No rain through Wednesday. Temperatures will remain pleasant. I'll look at your forecast a little more in detail coming up in a few minutes.
In a follow-up, home burglars got away with a very big ticket item when they broke into a North Jackson home. Police say they drove off in one of the family's vehicles. It looks like this. It's a white 2011 Jeep Cherokee with Tennessee tag 006ZZV. Investigators say it was stolen during an overnight home break-in in a neighborhood along Country Club Lane last Thursday. Officers say that same night there were 4 other home burglaries in that same neighborhood. If you've seen this vehicle or know who took it, call Jackson Police or Crime Stoppers. Madison County deputies are looking for the man responsible for a possible weekend rape. The reported rape happened here in the 20 block of Oakfield Road in North Madison County. The victim said she was attacked around 3 Sunday morning. The suspect is described as a black man in his mid-20s to early 30s, about 6 feet tall and at least 250 pounds. He has bushy eyebrows, a mustache, and a goatee. He was driving a red mid-sized pickup truck. Call the Madison County Sheriff's Department or Crime Stoppers if you can help. A gay couple in Gibson County have filed charges against some of the top leaders of a church in Fruitland after they say the men physically assaulted them when they tried to attend services. Jerry Pittman Jr. and his partner Dustin Lee say 3 deacons from Grace Fellowship Church assaulted them in the parking lot last Wednesday, yelling derogatory homosexual slurs. Pittman says the attack was prompted by the pastor of the church, his father, Jerry Pittman.
They were hitting me all in my neck and all over my back and my legs that were hanging out the side of the car and wouldn't let me go. So my boyfriend finally got through them to me so that way I could get away from them.
The couple filed assault charges against Deacons Billy Sims and Eugene McCoy. Pittman pressed additional charges against his father and Deacon Patrick Flatt. We'd hoped to talk with the pastor, however, his attorney told us no comment and demanded we not contact Pastor Pittman. All parties are due in court on October the 4th. The city of Jackson is looking to update and strengthen its drug policy for employees who test positive for illegal drugs. Under current policy, if an employee tests positive for illegal substances, the city will pay for rehab. But if the City Council approves the new policy when it meets on Tuesday, workers who test positive will have to resign or be terminated. Mayor Gist says in the past year alone, the city has spent more than $30,000 on rehab costs.
Rehabilitation is not cheap. What we're trying to do is salvage that employee, salvage their lives, if you will. Sometimes rehab works, sometimes it doesn't. But
if the new policy passes Tuesday, employees can still get rehab for alcohol or prescription drugs, just not illegal drugs. Still to come, the unnerving discovery that prompted authorities in Tucson to shut down several businesses and local streets this afternoon. Also, how leaders at AT&T are making sure students at Jackson State can continue to connect with their dreams of being a college graduate. Stay with us.